I will not recap the Dorsinier framework because I will assume that you have all watched the video because all of you have taken the quiz. So I'm not going to repeat that. I will now instead like to jump straight into our case discussion so that you have a chance to apply the concepts through the case discussion.
Case for a hug. In 2009, Dr. Sun Bear Hug, an endocrinologist, founded the Hug charity. As an endocrinologist, Dr. Sun researched that hugging stimulates oxytocin release. The benefits of higher oxytocin in the bloodstream are improved immune function, lower blood pressure, and reduced anxiety. Hug's charity's vision is to restore the well-being of today's working adults, many of whom are parents, spouses, and caregivers. They bring home the stress accumulated at work and manifest the cumulative tension in unhealthy habits. Through regular bear hugs, the objective of Hug is to provide a strong foundation for the well-being of the local working population. The program and fees for Hug include the Signature Bear Hug program, conducted by Hug's pool of 100 volunteers who dressed as sun bears and walk the streets from Mondays to Fridays to offer bear hugs free of charge to stressed-out white-collar workers in the business district. The lunchtime touch therapy program are delivered by touch therapists at Hug. The touch therapists are persons with visual impairment. They are recruited and trained as touch therapists to provide therapy session at $25 per hour to office workers during lunchtime. Brown bag talks on stress management are conducted by a group of service-based and qualified volunteers to companies free of charge. These volunteers are trained and professionally certified by two of Hug's full-time professional counselors. They each pay $5,000 before SkillsFuture subsidy. Hug's annual income is about $500,000. The breakdown include program fees 50%, corporate donations 25%, government subvention 20%, and 5% for donations from family and friends. Dr. Sun continues to maintain her private practice, although she spends most of her time at the charity with a team of 2 administrative staff, 2 counselors, and 20 touch therapists. On 30th January 2020, the World Health Organization declared a public health emergency of international concern with the outbreak of the coronavirus disease. In Singapore, the DORSCON alert level was raised from yellow to orange on 7 February. Volunteers began to turn down service requests. Companies cancelled their bookings for touch therapy and stress management workshops. Although some agreed to postpone their prior therapy bookings to a later date, income from this service dropped by 60%. The charity has set aside unrestricted funds of approximately 12 months of their annual operating expenses to fulfill its obligations as an employer. Regardless, Dr. Sun is concerned that the reserves may not be enough for Hug to continue their operations until the economy recovers and the services resume. On 26 March 2020, safe distancing measures were enforced, and all service offerings of Hug came to a halt. Dr. Sun panicked and tried desperately to call upon her network of friends to raise funds. She managed to secure $40,000 from her family members, close friends, and board members, an amount equivalent to 1 month of running costs. She will need at least $500,000 to keep her team, of which 90% are expenses for manpower and 10% for other operating expenses. For years, Dr. Sun has maintained a database of corporate clients only. Despite her board's advice, she has yet to build a diverse donor pool. Given her circumstances, Dr. Sun's friend suggested online crowdfunding platforms as a potential avenue for fundraising. Dr. Sun has been successful in explaining the rationale of mental well-being and its association to work productivity to businesses. What will she need to set up a donation appeal on such fundraising platforms? Can she translate a proposition for corporate clients for her online donation appeal? How else could she tell her story? Can she raise all $500,000 from online fundraising platforms? She feels she will need to stay connected with her corporate donors while programs and services are suspended. How might she do so? And what else can she do to sustain this organization she founded and so loved? These questions raced through her mind.
So I hope that helps help you to remember the case that you have read. Let's do a quick poll first to ensure that we are all on the same track and ready for our breakout discussion. Now, this is the first poll. Identify the building blocks to start your Charities Online donation appeal. It's a multiple choice question and you can pick more than one. I see the entries coming in very well. Just a little while more for everyone to complete the poll. Okay, let me end the poll and we have a look at the results. You see, majority of you have actually identified a strong narrative that is a must-have in any donation appeal. The second one is online presence. This is just as important because it gives legitimacy to your organization, to your charity's donation appeal. And results have also shown time and again that the success of your online fundraising is associated with the size of your online followers. So online presence is clearly a very important building block for your online donation appeal. Now the third one, a communication strategy. This is also another must-have. And you want to think about how you are going to direct your online users to your campaign page, which can be on any charitable crowdfunding platform. The last one, YouTube channel. 31% of you have indicated YouTube channel as a building block. Now the YouTube channel is nice to have. It is not necessary because you can still share videos on different platforms. It will be more useful for you to then focus your website, for example, on making sure that your annual reports are uploaded or even updating it with positive news media or beneficiary stories. Okay, so that's the first poll. Now let's look at the second poll. Clearly, the profile of prospective online donors will be different from HUG-HUG's corporate donors. Very different profile, very different needs and expectations. Understanding the needs and expectation of your donor segment is critical because you can then craft the right value proposition and narrative to appeal to them. Yeah. Now, quickly from HUG-HUG Charity, we see that there are different stakeholder groups, right? So if we put aside the general public and the community at large, including donors, there are at least 6 different stakeholder groups that HUG-HUG has. The stakeholders are persons or organizations with a vested interest in the successful organization or the successful operation of an organization. And the first group we know are the beneficiaries, right? So very obviously, the beneficiaries of HUG include the working adults in the business district, companies who receive the free lunchtime stress management talks. There is a third group of beneficiaries, the persons with special needs, the visually impaired individuals who are skills qualified to be touch therapists to deliver the therapy services. The second group of stakeholders are the clients, and they include the corporate clients who engage HUG-HUG for therapy services and individuals who pay to be certified by HUG-HUG so they can deliver talks. Donors, of course, mostly corporate donors, A very small pool of donors are individuals. They are Dr. Sun's family and friends. The volunteers, they include the volunteers who dress up as sun bears, the skills-based volunteers who are qualified to give talks at workshops, and public agencies. They are another group of stakeholder because they provide subsidies for skills training and rental subvention. And the sixth group is, of course, the employees, because they enable the charity to achieve its purpose and deliver its mission. So clearly, every stakeholder group has different needs and expectation. And by understanding what are their needs and expectation, HAHAC will then be able to define the value proposition for each of them. Now, before I break you all out, these are the questions that you will be working on. The list of questions was also sent to you in a 2-page summary. Now, the main point of this case really is for you to, first of all, not just apply the parent framework and the dossier framework, but really try to understand for a charity, in the case of HAHAC, or even for your own charities, who are the different stakeholders. And by the stakeholders and from the income streams, we can actually identify that there are 4 different main income streams, right? And as HAHAC launch into online fundraising platforms, they will be introducing a new individual donor segment. To ensure that you position your charity for this donor segment and that your narrative will resonate with this segment, you want to inquire into the behavior, the demographic, and lifestyle of these prospective online donors. Your aim for online donors will be to turn them into techie followers. Your goal is to impel them to give, and not just give, to spread your cause and to create more fundraising campaigns for your charity. Your value proposition to this group of donors, as an illustration, is joy as your donor. Yes, you hear me. Give them joy through their giving and appealing on your behalf. Let me give you an illustration. Now here we try to dig deep into the profile of the online donors. When you craft an appeal, you want to know their behavior, their demographic, their lifestyle, so that your appeal can resonate with their value system, their personality, and their worldview. So as an example, behavior. These prospective donors are likely to be active online users who spend most of their time online. They have extensive experience online. They know how to share content and stream live videos. Many of them maintain an active following online because they have built a brand for themselves. Their propensity to trust is high too. They are likely impulsive shoppers and casual givers. They likely are also passionate about certain causes that reinforce their brand personality. Now, the second one is demographic: age, employment, education. Some of us believe, I heard that in one of the breakout rooms, that online donors or online users tend to be younger. Yes, you want to have some indication of your donor demographic profile, but I prefer to focus on their behavior and lifestyle. Demographics sometimes may not be so accurate because I know of active online donors who are in their 50s, they are affluent and regularly shopping on charitable crowdfunding platforms, online fundraising platforms to donate. The last one, lifestyle. These online donors are likely concerned individuals who represent themselves as active in the community, especially the online community, and passionate advocates of certain causes, such as those causes that align with their interests. It could be in health, it could be in mental well-being, or it could be the arts. So to be sure, you can test your understanding of the needs of these donor segments. You can test them by testing or doing an informal poll with your family and friends. Commercial organizations conduct market research. That's expensive, so not all of them conduct market research. I know many commercial organizations who actually conduct informal poll with family and friends to test the needs and expectations of the segment. And you can do the same. Now, suppose we've tested and confirmed that these are indeed the needs of the online donors, the need of these online donors to want to stay active online. How then can you craft a value proposition? So this is another illustration. We know that these donors need to stay active online and grow in influence. Your narrative is only one P of the 4 Ps in marketing mix. The narrative is the P for promotion or communication. Promotion is not just giving discounts, right? Promotion is about communication. How do you engage through communication? Empires are built using 4 Ps to sell sweetened coffee at $9 each. Surely we can cultivate a loyal techie follower as your donors using the same 4 Ps. And these donors would expect online content from your charity. So what remaining 3 Ps are there? Product, price, and place. Products are a library of stories and images that you can feed your online donors with. Content can be images of your beneficiaries, a constant stream of fresh content of these for these donors. In other words, you give the techie followers a reason to spread your cause and to create campaigns on your behalf. Demonstrate that every dollar counts towards making a difference through your donation tier, like what Dr. Ang shared with us. That is the second P, price. And last P is for place, the channel in the online space that refers to engaging your prospective donors through emails and social media. Now, there's also another group of donor segment, and that is the corporate donors. So in the case of Hug, the value proposition for them really is that with the current climate, the shift towards cost focus. So these corporate donors would still want to ensure the well-being of their employees and to increase focus on costs. While they may be cost sensitive and may not be able to donate, don't assume that you should not reach out to your corporate donors. A corporate donor I know of recently confided in me that many charities here don't seem to be worried about their sustainability. So instead of the charities that they support as an organization appealing to him for donation, he had to reach out to them to ask if they need resources. And I hope that's not typical of our charity organization. So bear in mind that corporate donors still want to be updated of the charity. They still want to be seen as socially responsible. So similar to what we discussed about the marketing mix for individuals, online donors who are like you and me, you can develop a similar marketing mix for your corporate donors and other donor segment. Okay, so in conclusion, I hope you've gotten a chance to apply the parent framework through the case discussion as well as the dossier framework. And we also talked about the why, appealing to the hearts of your donors. And for a start, you first need to identify the different stakeholder groups and the value proposition that you as a charity organization can offer to your stakeholder group. And last but not least, through an appreciation of your donors' needs and expectations, you can actually build your value proposition and use the 4 Ps to maintain and manage that long-term relationship with your donors. Okay, so that's a very quick summary. I would now like to move on to question and answer. But before I do that, may I invite Dr. Ang to share his observations and discussions with you?
I can. So my brother and sisters, my group have a very interesting discussions. For a start, we all agree that online fundraising is a lot an art rather than just a science. And because it's an art, it requires certain level of skills or we call sophistications. The first word came to my mind as part of dialogue is narrative. So it's not just to go and tell people I need money for this event or these activities. it won't ring a bell, you know. What you need to think, to ask yourself is, what is the narrative? And to anchor the narrative, our discussion is that you must have a clarity of what is your purpose. Only when you have clarity of a purpose and then have a narrative so that you have a compelling reason for people to donate, then you then go to the fundraising platform to tell your stories. If you don't have clarity of the narrative, then it's very difficult. The second things that we have learned in our discussion group is that it's not easy to talk about the impact. Uh, because impact means that you need to understand how does it make a difference to the beneficiaries, and each beneficiary may have different impact. So what are the impacts that you intend to put forward? Again, that requires some thinking, because there are two schools of thought. One school of thought is that you do impact at the individual level, i.e. you basically interview the beneficiary and ask them how have this make a difference to you as a person, or you can do an impact that based on a group of people, and this one is what they call group impact, or they call the overall impact. Whatever you have chosen, both are important, because sometimes it's not easy to have a group impact. If there's no group impact, then you may resort to telling individual impact and use that to extrapolate regarding to what is the overall things that you hope to achieve. There are also, we also talk about the mode of storytelling, and i.e. how can we ensure that in that short period of time, how can we get people's attention? How do we get people, at the end of the day, how do they get the emotion connection to your appeal, your compelling reason? Because having a compelling reason itself is not enough. The process of telling your compelling reason is equally important. And that's where pictures, videos can actually add to it, or even infographics can add to it. So these are some of the three things that we have discussed in my groups. We'll put it in the panel later on. Thank you.
There are a few questions that I'm going to just read, and then either myself or Dr. Ang can handle the question. Now, the first question that is coming fast and furious in the chat group is, would the slides today be shared with us? So the answer is yes. Yeah, we will email the slides to all of you. And like I said earlier on, please continue to upload your discussion on Nearpod so that that can be consolidated and shared with everyone as well, right? Because we want to be harnessing the collective wisdom here. Okay, so the second thing is, now this one came earlier on. I can address this question, and I believe Dr. Ang would also have something to add. I'm going to read this. There is always a concern on having beneficiaries being involved in fundraising. So how should we address this concern? I have seen comments on videos on using beneficiary as a means of fundraising, and some of the comments could give a bad image of the organization. Okay, so I'm going to try to address this question, and Dr. Ang, I also invite you to come in and fill in the gaps. Yeah. So specifically, whenever we want to identify, or whenever we have identified a beneficiary for fundraising or for any of our communication campaign, the first and foremost thing you need to identify is how consistent is this with your charity's purpose and values. Is this aligned with your charity's purpose and value, right? So that will answer the question about misalignment. And second thing that you want to address is the beneficiary prepared to disclose? Is the beneficiary prepared to publicize? So I know of organizations where they introduce certain process through documentation just to gain the agreement of the beneficiary or even the family to agree to the publicity or to the communication exercise. Dr. Ang, would you have something to add?
Yes, Caroline, I fully agree with what you say. My brothers and sisters, very important that you must have clarity on what is your intent when you put a video or pictures of the beneficiaries. If your intent is just to show that people need help and therefore just a picture to, just to create a outcome, I think we fail badly. The purpose of the pictures and the videos is actually to tell a story. It's the pictures and the videos not on only help that people receive, but more importantly is also on the dignity and respects of our beneficiaries. When you listen to some of the videos and when you watch them, when you look at some of the pictures, it's what the beneficiary wanted to communicate with the people. So my brother and sister, always, I'm very worried that we all use it for not, we don't have a clarity in using this. Second, is very important that you must always get permission. I have seen some of, in fact, I do receive once a while people unhappy about their picture being used and because they didn't ask permission. I think it's a matter of respect. If you want to use people pictures, want to use people video, please tell people and ask for permission. Actually, you'll be surprised. I understand that I saw from some of the feedback that that is sometimes not easy to get permission, but you'll be surprised that some of the beneficiaries actually are forthcoming to tell their stories. Why they want to tell the stories? Because they want to inspire. They want to inspire more people to do good. That is the intent. The third thing is, sometimes there are ways to overcome concern of the beneficiaries. They want to tell the stories, but some of them felt that maybe, for a reason they don't want their face to be seen. You can still tell a story sometimes with the back of the, that's why I say it's an art, If you tell a beneficiary, some beneficiaries say, okay, I don't want to be taken in front, but I won't mind taking my picture from the back. Have you seen photo of beneficiary at the back? I can tell you it's very powerful. So, and some of them say that, okay, I'm prepared to show my face, but or part of my face. Or some of them say that, I'm prepared to share my voice. Some of them saying that I'm prepared to share my voice, but maybe the voice can be muted a bit. Some of them say, okay, I don't want to show myself, but I want to tell my stories. So sometimes the story can come out in words. So my brother and sisters, most important is, why are you putting out the video, putting out the pictures? It's because you want to highlight the purpose, and it must be done with respect and dignity for our beneficiary, my beneficiaries. Very important. So I hope I give you some ideas, but of course there are in-betweens that you can consider. All right, I hope I give you some idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ang. I'm going to take a few more questions, at least two more questions, before we wrap up today's webinar. Now, there is this question which is, because today's topic is about fundraising online and applying the frameworks. I'm going to read it, but I would urge every one of you to go and get the information because it's very useful. So there was this question about, can the charity organizations hold virtual AGM, right? Now this question, if I'm not wrong, was addressed at the last webinar. or the 2 webinars ago. Again, it was a webinar that was organized by COC jointly with the Chartered Secretaries Institute of Singapore. So I urge you to get hold of that information, and not just that information, understand your charity's constitution, right? So that you will be able to plan for your AGM. And we are not going to discuss this at today's webinar.
Can
Now,
I jump in?
Yes, Haksek.
Caroline, can jump in on this. My brothers and sisters, can I ask you to, for those of you who have questions on electronic AGM, go to the charity portal, my charity portal. Inside the charity portal, there is a guide, and the guide actually teach you step by step on when can you conduct AGM, how to conduct electronic AGMs, and not only that, we have templates that you can use so that you can conduct your electronic AGM smoothly. Please download that guide. In addition, look out for a video. Yes, Caroline is correct. We have just conducted a webinar on electronic AGM, and we'll be downloading this video to the public. So download the video, even though you did not attend the talk, you can actually use it. I think Elaine have actually sent the ULC, the code for you.
URL.
So please download. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Ang. I've done my homework and watched the video. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question. How does a financially healthy charity avoid being disadvantaged in fundraising? Okay. So this is a very interesting question. Now, earlier on in Dr. Ang's sharing, there was a lot of examples that he has given, right? The examples include large charities as well as small charities, right? And really, a large charity should not feel unnecessarily disadvantaged as long as you are able to articulate the why. Why do you need the funds for? How will these funds benefit, kind of impact, and be transparent, like the examples that Dr. Ang has shared with us, right? Dr. Ang, would you like to expand on the response to this question?
Yes, Caroline, I agree with you. My brother and sister from the big charities, you are not disadvantaged, but you are advantaged in terms of online fundraising. Why I say so? Because you have the resources. You know, while I say that it's very easy to produce video by using a handphone, but even to do that, you need somebody to take the video. You need somebody to think of the narrative. For small charities, you may not have the resources, or you may not have even the expertise. For big charities, because of your financial resources, you may have the expertise, and you can even, what I call, buy expertise from outside to come up with your narrative. But that's not necessary for small charities. So in the way, big charities, I appeal to you. I appeal to you that we are in the system together. And I appeal to you that please help the small charities, because they may need the technology, they may need your expertise, they may need your network, because at the end of the day, we are operating as one big ecosystem. If any of the small charity, regardless of big or small charity, not doing well, it's not going to be reflected on that small charity or big charity. It will be the reflection of all of us together. So my brothers and sisters from the big charities, I appeal to your help. For the small charities, I will keep, please stay on to the last segment, because in the last segment, I'd like to tell you what else I will do to help you. I have at least 5 or 6 more goodies that I want to announce. So I don't announce now, stay back. That's all, Caroline.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ang. Now I'm going to wrap up our question and answer. There are still some questions coming in. you can keep them coming. What we'll do is we'll try our best to respond to them via email. So you'll still get them attended to, yeah, so they won't be lost. Now I want to take this time to just talk about a couple of things, and then I will like to invite a close colleague, a senior member of SUSS, to share a few words. Dr. Teng Su Ching, Professor Teng, and then I will pass the time, then the spotlight to Dr. Ang to finish the goodies that he wants to announce to everyone. Now, so let me share a few things first. I hope you all like the learning experience today. I know it was a bit rushed because we are all trying to grapple with the technology. Just to ensure that we are all continually engaged and learning, adapting to the new system, I want to announce that the SUSS, we will be organizing or will be launching a new program. Now let me share this with you. So coming up is our graduate certificate in organization and leadership for nonprofits. This is a credit-bearing course. In other words, when you've completed the course, it is stackable towards a graduate diploma or a master's program. There are 3 main courses in this graduate diploma because it is designed in such a way that we want to help nonprofit organization, even for-profit organization and social enterprises manage their stakeholders. Because clearly, for many of you, you are running an organization in the meantime, managing different stakeholders, like what we saw with Hak Hak Charity. So it is difficult to lead and manage your organization, unlike a commercial organization where the focus is really about shareholder and customers. Right? So this course will focus on 3 areas: lead and manage diverse stakeholders, how you maximize human capital for social impact. We had a little bit of discussions about impact today. And the last course is on develop and create value for organization and people. More significantly, Dr. Ang himself will be teaching the final course, which is the course Develop and Create Value for Organization and People. This graduate certificate will commence on the 11th of July, and it is open for registration now. The second program that is coming up is the COC-SUSS certificate course. It is called Certificate in High Performing Charities. Among you are many participants who have attended this certificate course, including Samuel, Suchin, Joshua, and I urge those of you who know them to reach out to them to get their feedback. Yeah, so these courses are open for registration. Please sign up, and I hope to see all of you at the courses. Now with this, I just want to put the spotlight now on a close colleague, Professor Teng. Many of you will know her because she is a very active member in the community too. Yeah, Professor Teng?
Yeah. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Yeah, don't oversell me, Caroline. But thank you very much. Caroline and I are in the Northern School of Human Development. As the name suggests, I think you know Northern refers to somebody who is passionate, who was passionate about social sector. And as you can imagine, this school focuses a lot on developing this sector. So Caroline and I are very happy to be there to help to grow this sector. But separately, as she said, I also wear another hat, and I'm the president of VWO. So listening to Hak Seng was fantastic. Hak Seng and I, we are close friends, but he tells the public more than he tells me. So I learned a lot today. Actually, there's nothing more purposeful than what Hak Seng was telling us, you know, reminding us again and again that the core at the center of what we do is really the human being. Whether it's the donor, the beneficiaries, the volunteers, it is the beneficiary who is the human being, right? So always remember that when we want to touch the hearts of people, we are actually touching the hearts of everybody, from the donors right down to the beneficiaries and to public servants, public agencies who support us. They are also human beings. Why do you think so much effort is put into growing this sector? Because they know the importance of this sector. Now, my second takeaway is this. There's so much more that I pick up today, and now the realization is there's so much more that I need to do for my charity to match up with this expectation. And my last point is this. Online giving is really part of this digitalization of the social sector. So I call upon us, this group of us, part of this social service sector, let us work very hard to grow professionalism in the social sector. We must do it well so that we can legitimately take our place next to the other economic sectors, right? Because without the social transformation, the economic transformation will find it difficult for them to achieve full economic transformation. We need to take care of society before we, and the people before we can achieve something great in the economic sector. And I feel very strongly that with COC's guidance and SGCA's leadership, we can take our place legitimately next to any other sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Teng. Now, Dr. Ang, are you ready to share the goodies?
Su-Chin, thank you very much. Many of you all may not know, I call Su-Chin 大姐 or big sisters. And this is because we have been working together for the last 20 years, if my memory serves me right. And we have been together on the ground, helping the communities. And one thing that I want to share with you is that even though there are many concepts that I've articulated, many of these concepts I learned from her. So if you like, I learned from the best, and that is Prof. Su-Chin. My brothers and sisters, really thank you for again spending this afternoon with us. Before I tell you the goodies, I must you all must join me to thank SUSS for organizing this program. As many of you all will know that this program actually was organized pro bono to all the charities. And shall we give them Caroline, Prof. Su-Chin, SUSS a round of applause. My brothers and sisters, this training cannot end here. If this training ends here, I think we have a problem. For a start, this training shall continue, and to ensure that your training continue, not only that we will make available the slides, you should be on the lookout that we will also make available the videos. You know that the earlier videos on the parent frameworks is now publicly available. You should keep it so that from time to time, if you want to do a revisions, you can then play that videos for a quick revision. The other thing is that as part of the package, I shared with my small little group just now, I have actually written an articles on the parent framework. I'm happy that you should be able to find this article. If you key in my name and key in parent framework, the article is actually available. Why articles? Because you can then download it and make notes so that you no need to take notes. Everything is framed out in that article. I think it's a 3-page articles so that it help you to reduce note taking. The third things about learning is that Caroline have mentioned and also have addressed the question on EAGM, but not only EAGM, also recently we have conducted the course on online course on financial resilience. And I thought that's an important course because on one hand, you raise money. On the other hand, did you save money or not? because I always say every dollar saved is every dollar more for the beneficiaries. Question is how to save money, how to improve productivities, how to have economy of scales, how to have economy of scope. All this is part of the financial resilience course, online course I have in partnership with RSM. Again, the video are publicly available. You go to the RSM YouTube channel, you should be able to find the video. And the other video that I encourage you to go and search, and that is the partnership with our Chartered Secretary Institute of Singapore, and that is the one on EAGM, electronic AGM, and also you should download it. And as I said earlier, you should also download the guides from the charity portal. So I know that we are conducting a lot of courses, a lot of guides. Question is, how can I put it together? So the first piece of good news is this. I will put all this into infographics. This infographic will be out soon. So from the infographics, you will be able to find the link from all the videos and guides that I talk about. So you no need to search. I will search for you. With that single piece of document, all the training program we have done to date, all the guide we have done to date, make use of it. Second thing that I want to share with you is this. It has to do with money. The reason why I push very hard for online fundraising, as I said earlier, this is not about COVID-19. It's beyond COVID-19. It's about making sure our charity are not left behind as a result of the nation moving for a smart nation. So to encourage you to go on online fundraising, DPM have actually made some announcement only 2 days ago on what goodies will you get. And one of the goodies is a matching grant. Look out for it. The detail will be out very soon, but basically it's to tell you this. If you raise funds at the 4 approved fundraising, online fundraising platforms, there will be matching grants. What is matching grant? Matching grant means that you raise $1, somebody will give you a top up. And that is what is, first is to encourage you, to go into online. But second is also to help you in this very difficult time during COVID-19. So look out for this. Again, the detail will be out soon, but I want to give you a head start that indeed online fundraising will attract more funding than you thought. And the third thing I want to share with you is this, my brothers and sisters, and that is we will conduct more training during this time. And because we will conduct more training, if I scan around today, I only have about close to 100 charities, but I like more charity to attend. But I understand that many of you cannot attend, not because you don't want to attend, but you cannot attend. It's because you don't have the technology. I want to make one commitment to you, and that is this. If you don't have the technology, please write in to me. I have a grant for you so that you can make use of the grant to buy the technology. If you do not have the video conferencing equipment, we will buy it for you. There's a grant for it. If you do not have a platform, even though Zoom is free, but you want to have Zoom so that you can then have a corporate Zoom so that you can then use it to communicate with your donors, communicate with your volunteers, communicate with your beneficiaries, and you need their capabilities, I'm most happy to support you. Write to me. Okay? So my third message to you is this. I have a capability, digitization capability building fund. I'm keen to support you, but my brothers and sisters, you know that my priority is for those who don't have at this moment, and that especially the small charities. My brothers and sisters in the small charity, I'm waiting for you to write to me. Write to me on how I can help you digitally so that you can outreach, so that you can raise fund online. So that is my final message. And what I'll do is I will conduct more online training for you. I earlier talked about productivities. I'm very keen to conduct one on productivities. Look out for the webinar. That productivities will be an important area for our charities. Finally, my brothers and sisters, I'm glad that I've partnered with COC-SUSS to build capacity to provide training opportunity for you. Because as you know, COC-SUSS is not a polytechnic. COC-SUSS is not a private institution. COC-SUSS is one of our national university. And for COC-SUSS to conduct courses and ask their professors to conduct courses for charities, for people, for you and me, it's a recognition for our charities. And that's why I will encourage you to look out for all the training opportunities. And I assure you that the courses that if we partner with COC-SUSS, we always have one thing in mind. It must be cheap and good. I.e., if the courses, if you cannot afford, or first we must make sure that the courses is very reasonable. Prof. Suchin know that every time when I talk to her, I always say it must be at a pro bono. Pro bono means what? Pro bono means that it must not be, of course cannot be, I mean pro bono sometimes it must be pro bono, if not, if low bono. What is low bono? It's like that lah. Community rate, pro bono, which is free. Low bono is about 10 to 20% of the charges that you will pay outside. The rest of it, we will find grants to support you to attend the courses. So my brother and sister, that's all I have to say. I hope the goodies will inspire you to build capability at this moment. I am open to more ideas. If you have more ideas on building capabilities and you think that you need resources, you know, I have an opening here. As I always say, I will walk. You are not alone in the journey. I will walk the journey with you. Thank you. Stay safe and stay healthy. Caroline, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ang. Please don't log out first. We would like you to give us your feedback because your voice matters, without which we won't be able to do anything meaningful and useful. So this is the time for you to dish out your phone and scan this. If you wouldn't like to scan, you can also enter the link. Yeah, so please take some time to fill in. I will keep the link here and the QR code. So stay tuned for more opportunities to reconnect. And meanwhile, take care, stay well, continue to help one another. And I really, really hope to see you all at any one of our programs. Goodbye for now.